One two one two. Welcome to Gorgeous Bikes, which as you can see, looks like we've been jacked, but we haven't. We are actually just building a new shop, putting new flooring. So, as nobody turned up for work today except me and the dog, and as it's about time of that year that people started talking nonsense about vented jackets. And as those vented jackets are actually hanging in pole position for once, I thought I'd just spend 2 minutes talking to you about them. Anyway, vented jackets, what are they good for? Absolutely nothing. Basically, vented jackets are a bit like asking for a vented aeroplane. It ain't gonna work as well as a real one. So anything that you do to puncture or destabilize the integrity of the structure of a jacket is obviously going to make it weaker. Anything that's not continuous material is going to make it weaker. So the whole idea of vented jackets is a bit of a tricky one, at least. Now I would say vented jackets probably started back in the early 90s when Joe Rocket used to make one out of what was then Decent Textile. Decent Cordura, probably made in America, and probably not too bad. They were almost the first people that came up with a vented jacket with the idea of putting a nylon Cordura panel in the background so you could unzip it, have it vented, zip it back in, have it as a complete layer jacket. Since then, of course, all manufacturers have jumped on the bandwagon and created vented jackets, but of course all of them are making their stuff in Asia, and it's being made with less good skills and far less quality material. Probably the only person that makes a vented jacket which looks like it might work, that's reasonably available and reasonably cheap, is Furigan. And I'm not saying that because I sell it, but I sell it because it's good, not the other way around. Actually, I don't sell that much Furigan anymore, but this is a particularly good one. It's about 150 quid. The first one was called a Genesis. This one is called a WE06. Beautiful. No idea what that means, but I'm sure the French in their inimitable franglais translations will do. Anyway, this is a good jacket because it's the level 2 Cordura, so it's better quality material all the way around. The actual material itself is not like a normal Asian effort, and the whole structure of the jacket has to pass EO2 regs, not just level 1. So it's not just the armor that has to get through, but the whole jacket. So the idea of this jacket, of course, is that inside is a liner which you can zip back in, so you can have this fully vented, or you can put the panel back in so it's a hot day out and a cold day back. You've got both options. It's also very smart, very close fitting, like a leather jacket, like all Furigan's textiles, and it's cheap. So if you want a mass market cheap vented jacket, there's no question that Furigan make the best one for 150 quid. Moving on from there to decent vented jackets, there is actually only one manufacturer, to my mind, that makes anything that's decent, and that's Vanson. And Vanson is decent for the simple reason they're using fantastic materials, all military grade Cordura nylon twine, or it's military grade wax cotton, or it's competition weight leather, and nobody else uses that. Not only that, but they've got 3 genius ideas which nobody else does. Probably the most genius is this jacket here, called a strip. A strip is literally strips of leather, which you can see in my hand poking. So it's strips of leather, and in between it's separated by strips of nylon Cordura twine. So the wind comes rushing through between these strips, but it's got the integrity of leather, and of course not just any leather, but Vanson competition leather. Let me try and show you a better one. This is another one of their styles. So this jacket is called the strip. Let's hang it up here. Oh god, this video is going to be so shit, but never mind. So that's a strip in a medium. They're oversized Vanson jackets, so that's probably a large in European, and a small fits me in a Vanson, and I normally take a medium in European. But you can see the idea. It's fantastic quality leather, and the leather structure is not really compromised at all by having it in strips. They're not cheap though, about 320 quid, but you do get what you pay for, which is incredible quality leather. even better than the Strip is their jacket called Supermoto, which is still in production, I think. And this, again, competition. Actually, this is medium weight leather, I think. But you get the idea here. If I take that ticket off, again, it's basically mesh, but it's mesh made out of sort of military grade Cordura nylon twine, and then it's separated by, you know, awesome quality leather, every bit as good as Dainese. Even their medium weight leather is better than Dainese, I would say. Again, it's a close fitting jacket, and there's no lack of integrity of the construction of the jacket by making it like that. Well, that's a bit of a grandiose statement. There is some, but far less than any other jacket. The actual chassis of the jacket's not compromised by having those panels, whereas almost every other jacket I've seen is. They're about 325 quid here on sale at the moment. They were about 375, so a little bit cheaper. And then Vanson have got these other couple of ideas, which is just a complete mesh jacket, but based on a very hard chassis. So the twine itself, again, is very high quality, and the actual leather structure of the chassis is very high quality too. They're about 180 quid. Not many of those left. I don't know whether they still make them. And then there is yet another Vanson idea, which is actually a textile body jacket, and that has panels which can be taken out from behind where my finger's pointing. So that's the mesh there, and then inside you have the nylon. Inside you have the nylon panels which fit behind, so you can zip or unzip them depending on the weather. So again, hot right out during the day, you take the panels out. Cold right back at night, you stick the panels back in. Unfortunately, the Vanson stuff is not waterproof, so you're buying protection, you're not buying weatherproofness. If you want weatherproofness, then vented is not going to work as well as being weatherproof, so you've got to go one or the other. My opinion would be that the Strip or the SMJ. I think this is a fantastic jacket. You can ride all around South France, Italy if you go on a trip. You're not going to be compromised in terms of protection if you wear that, and then just take an unlined one-piece jacket, slip it on over the top, and that's about it. So I'm afraid I can't recommend any other brands vented jackets, because I honestly think they're all rubbish. I don't know anything about Dainese, they might weight one, so that's a bit of a bland assertion, but everything else I've seen obviously is made in Asia, and there's only one reason for making stuff in Asia, and I'm afraid it ain't a good one. Over and out, Ski.